We can't expect people to live like animals.
He's one of the most influential people in Portland, and tonight, for the first time, he reveals his plan to lead the city out of its dire homeless crisis. Homer Williams is best known as one of the leading developers of Portland's Pearl District.
And now, for the first time, he shares his new 4-point plan to fix the homeless crisis, sharing it with our Dan Tilkin.
Yeah, listening to Homer Williams, this is the first time that I have felt encouragement that maybe there's a way out of Portland for all of this. Now, he is, though, warning this homeless situation, which is already indescribably bad, is on the verge of getting worse if the county and city don't jump on board with his vision.
Because if you give people back their dignity and their health, they find their old selves pretty damn quick.
Homer Williams has spent the last several years of his so-called retirement dedicating his mind and money to solving the homeless crisis. He first launched the Harbor of Hope shelter to provide people essential services to stabilize their lives. You can see some of their faces in this Harbor of Hope video.
We have the ingenuity, the understanding, and the means.
Williams says almost half of the people who go to Harbor of Hope also go to work every day. Well, part one of his 4-point plan, and the least surprising, is to build similar shelters across the city.
Everybody deserves a safe place. It doesn't have to be an apartment, but they do deserve a good night's sleep. They do deserve hygiene. They do deserve food and medical care if they need it. We can provide that for everybody.
We work with both the public and private sectors.
Part two of his plan is where the innovation ramps up.
We will build communities that will be carefully managed.
This animation shows his concept for managed communities, a step between shelters and apartments where people can have their own space and utilize common services to get back on their feet. Williams worked with a local manufacturer to design the pop-up tiny homes that can be constructed in just 15 minutes and are far cheaper than the tiny homes built in other villages. He's working with the city to find a piece of public property to be the site of the first community, and he hopes to have it open by the end of June. How many of these villages do you need?
We're going to need them all over the city. All over the city.
Hundreds of people?
Oh, thousands and thousands of people, yes. Yes.
10,000?
20?
20,000? For part three of his plan, Williams is also pushing for governments and charities to buy up motels for transitional housing. But as we saw at this motel turned shelter in Portland, one of the problems is the rooms have tiny kitchens, or none at all. Williams has worked with the same local manufacturer to build prefabricated kitchens that can be installed in an hour. But images haven't been released yet. Moving quickly and at large scale is a critical part of his plan because government has struggled to create more affordable housing.
We cannot build our way out of this. We are not efficient at building affordable housing, number one. It takes way too long and it takes way too much money. And we don't have the money to effectively build our way out of this. We don't have it. So we are interested only in things that can scale. By that, I mean deal with the magnitude of the problem in big ways.
Williams is warning of another wave of homelessness, of people caught in a wave of possible future foreclosures, particularly for people over 50 who are unemployed and find it harder to find work. He's hoping to solve that with part 4 of his plan. It's called HomeShare Oregon. The website is already launched with about 450 people participating.
It's like a dating app, but for roommates.
It's like a dating app on steroids.
Tess Fields is in charge of the free program, and we were there Saturday.
Oregon has an affordable housing problem.
As HomeShare Oregon shot its first commercial, a computer program matches people who have extra bedrooms in their homes with people who can only afford a low amount of rent through a long list of compatibility questions, including background checks and legal services.
Many folks would like to age in place, And oftentimes all that's required to make that happen for these individuals is to have a person renting a room from their house that can help take out the trash or mow the yard.
She says there are 1.5 million homes in Oregon with a spare bedroom. If they can get 2% of homeowners to participate, that's 30,000 people with an affordable place to live, in a region in desperate need of affordable places to live and hope that it can happen.
If we don't solve this homeless problem, we won't get our city back until we do.
So the Home Share Oregon program, it's already up and running. And again, it's a free service paid for through donations and grants. If you're interested, we have a link at coin.com.
In the past, Multnomah County in particularly fought at first a harbor of hope. They didn't like these new ideas. And a lot of blame was put on Deborah Kafori. Remember, she didn't want Wapatobi to turn into a homeless shelter. It's now doing great as a homeless shelter. How are governments reacting to his new plans?
Well, he has been speaking with lots of different governments throughout this process, but he admits this information is going to be new to a lot of them. And that's what I found when I called around and say, hey, I want some comments, your perspective on what Homer Williams is proposing. And the reaction I got was, we're learning about this too. So, but he's moving quickly.
So it's in process still.
Yes.
So they were surprised about it, but did you get anything else that they were hopeful they could work with him on this or anything like that?
PBOT said they want to work with him, but I'm still drilling down on that.
All right. Well, keep us posted, Dan.
Yeah.
Thank God somebody's doing something about it.
He has dedicated his retirement to this.
That is awesome. That is really awesome. Thank you.
Thank you, Dan.